Old cars versus new cars. Well, not new, like teenage cars. Let's call it that. Let's call this video that. Old cars versus teenage cars. All right. So, in my opinion, this CLK is more fun to drive than this BMW. I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe I sound crazy. Maybe I'm speaking nonsense, but I think this BMW isn't as fun to drive as this Mercedes, because this BMW, it has newer technology. Newer technology equals I've been talking to people. It's like, bro, maybe you just can't slide. You know what I mean? I don't think that's what it is. I've done research. They say that this car is just a little bit too heavy to slide. You know what I mean? Where on this end, it's not too heavy. It slides. It's not. It makes what, 150 horsepower at this point in his life. I'm not saying a new CLK makes that, but this 320 makes. I'd give it 150 horsepower, maybe 175, but this thing does not make 200 horsepower. Like, it does not make as much power as my last one. My last one I know was down on power, and this don't even make that. So it might make 170 horsepower, and it'll drift. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what it is. It'll drift. It'll turn sideways. It'll fucking 80 miles an hour. You're pushing. You put your foot on the floor, and goddamn, you get up to 80. Once you get up to 80, it feels like you're going 120. This car, 120 feels like 80 in this car. I swear to God. And like, it's just what it is. It's just pretty cool. Pretty cool. It feels faster than what it actually is. I feel like it's the sketch factor that makes it feel like it's driving faster than it actually is. You know what I mean? And like, even like the interior, dude. Like, look at this interior. This is 2014 BMW. This is fucking 1999 Mercedes, homie. Like, to be honest with you, honestly, look at them both. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a CLK lover, bro, but like, there's not much more that this interior has than this interior, and this interior is what, 17 years older than this one? That doesn't really make any sense. I don't really understand how there's not that much of a difference in interior. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like in the end, after completely building these two cars, right, I feel like this car is still going to be more fun than this one. Even if after I fucking do a tune, I want to supercharge this car, like I said before. Supercharge, tune, what? Front suspension. That's it. That's me done with this car. And paint. You know what I'm saying? What? Supercharger. I'll give the supercharger 50 more horsepower, 70 more horsepower. And then I know some people are watching that like, what's the point in supercharging the car if it's only going to make 60, 70 more horsepower? It's going to be at like 320, something like that. 320 horsepower. What's the point in supercharging it to make 320 horsepower when you could just buy a 335? So it's like, that's where I'm at with it. And then buying a supercharger is going to cost a 335. But I want a supercharged car. You know what I mean? But point is, we're back on old versus new. How I feel. Old, this car cost me fucking nothing. $1,500. I could beat on it. I can slap it around. I could fucking smack it into a pole. And it's 2 weeks worth of car. Goddamn, you know what I'm saying? This car out the door was $7,000. You know what I'm saying? Camera died, but like I was saying, this car $7,000 out the door plus tax. Well, a little bit more than 7 grand. About like we're gonna say plus tax $8,000. $8,000 out the door for this 328i. What do you mean like $8,000? That's a few months worth of work. 2 weeks worth of work. We're gonna say a month worth of work versus 6 months worth of work. Why 6 months worth of work and have to spend about a week's worth of work paying for insurance? Think about that. And if you think about that, say most of y'all are probably teenagers or boys. Most of 100% male audience. It's called. So look, 100% male audience. You're male driving a BMW, right? Your insurance is going to be retarded versus this old BMW. You could smack it. I mean, this Mercedes, you smack it into a pole, fix it? No, buy a new one. That's why fix it, and it's $1,500. Just go find a new one. It doesn't make any sense. Engine blows, find a new one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense. Why spend that much money on the car and you could just buy a new one? It doesn't make any sense. $1,500. I'm gonna go to the junkyard. I'm gonna fix this thing up. I'm gonna have it running nice. I'm gonna have it slide around, have some fun with it. This right here, on the other hand, doesn't slide. Pretty quick. It'll get up to about 130 miles an hour. I think that's what it tops out at. I don't think it goes any faster than that. If you want to see a video, let me know. But 130, I think that's as fast as it goes. This right here, though, all you got to do is go 80 miles an hour. It feels like you're going 125, and you're flying. That doesn't make any sense. You're not even going that fast. It feels like you're about to take flight. Yeah, this one is rough, but they both get you where you need to go. And at the end of the day, if you buy a sports car to have fun with the car, you don't buy a sports car to, you know what I mean, to baby the car, to roll around. You buy a sports car to have fun. You buy a sports car to drive like a dick. That's why you buy a sports car. You don't buy a sports car to roll around like your granny. Some people do buy sports cars to drive like grannies, but that's not what we buy sports cars for. Not to drive like grannies. We drive them to drive like assholes. So, hey, old versus new. This, low on power. It does slide. It sounds old. It might break down on you. It might cost you a lot of money. It might not cost you a lot of money because there's a lot in the junkyard. It depends. This right here, you better buy new parts or you want to break down. It's called parts expensive. You're not going to find many of these in the junkyard depending on where you live, because they don't go to junkyards. They send them to Africa. Real life. I was talking to the guy I bought these rims from. Buddy said, yeah, he just groups up a whole bunch of these, whole bunch of old BMWs, Mercedes, stuff like that. Get them from the auction, ships them to Africa, and makes a bag, because they run them until they explode. They're done for. They run them till they're done for, and then they put something else in it. That's just how it is. But this right here, point is, old versus new. You could beat on the old car, not feel bad, not have to worry about having to spend all that much more money when it explodes on you, versus this right here. You could beat on it, you can have fun, but you gotta, hey, if it explodes, you're looking at money. You're looking at a good amount of money, N52, and then when it explodes, you'll be looking at You might as well upgrade the car. You might as well put an M54 in there. You might as well do this. You might as well do that. And then you might as well do this. Might as well do that. Turns into you have to do this, have to do that for this and that to work. And now look at you. You got a car that doesn't run. So, yeah. Point is, old versus new. If you're broke, go old. Because I'm broke. I went new. And I should have went old. That's just how it is. Because you could beat on the old one and not feel any type of way. You can't really beat on the new one. Well, you can beat on the new one. But the new one doesn't want to slide. The new one doesn't want to slide. I'm telling you. I got a few videos. Me sliding in the dirt. I can slide in the rain a little bit. Not that much. It doesn't slide in the rain that well. But, hey. If anybody knows anybody that's sliding the M52, let me know. Or if you can find M52 turbocharger kit, let me know. But hey, hold up.